Hi, my name's Richard Hill, and during the Rugby World Cup 2011 I will be sharing my views with you. If you'd like to send in questions, then please revert them to the Saracens Facebook page. I think the most clearest message you can come out with after the England performance was that England won. It's a very difficult environment you go into. England will go in particularly to a match like that where a lot of expectation on them to win. It was 2v3 from the 2007 World Cup, and Argentina, regardless of whether they're able to get their players together, they are one of the most physical sides that you will come across throughout the whole season. You know, it's not unusual for teams that win a World Cup to have a difficulty throughout the World Cup. I don't think this is going to be the only period of play that England, you know, are put under a huge amount of pressure. But even if, you know, 2003, look at the Samoa match, and that was a game that was won towards the end of the match, and 2007 had its own scenarios within it with the South Africa match, the Tonga match, to know that it's about getting out of your pool, and of course you want to be winning your pool so that you get what is perceived as a better route towards the later stages. I thought Richard Wigglesworth had a really good game, and he was certainly putting the tackles in. I thought he was covering the backfield very well, took some high balls, and I believe he was doing the job that England wanted him to do. Of course, Ben Youngs did come on, increase the tempo, but that would have been a clear message that I'm sure that Ben Youngs would have been sent on with, and certainly a way that we know at Saracens that Wiggy can play. But I do believe that there was probably a conscious effort to try and play a different style early on to try and get dominance in the match. Matt Stevens came on, good impact, certainly played a crucial role. I thought when Manu Tuilagi took the ball up with himself and Matt Stevens and got quick ruck ball, and that was a key to get in behind the Argentinians, not allow the players that we know Argentina have got to be on the front foot and smashing, particularly their back row, who I thought were awesome throughout, as you would expect. They're class players. It's a massive environment that you're going into now. It's a pressured environment anyway. Going into a World Cup, the length of time that you have, I suppose, when you're in England and the team are playing the November test, they get that one day where they get to probably go home. Logistics say that is possible within England. Most nations are run that way. So to actually go the other side of the world, not have necessarily the home comforts, the home distractions. Some will have family, some won't have family. You haven't necessarily got your favourite Italian coffee shop or whatever it is that you like to relax. So you do have to find distractions, and I think it's key. Particularly at the moment, to get that camaraderie going. They had a tough test on Saturday, and I see no problems with that at all. We want England to be in this tournament until the very end. So that's approaching 2 months worth of rugby together. New Zealand are probably the best team at the moment, and some will talk about it's theirs to win, some will say it's theirs to lose. It just depends on which way you want to look at it. The clear message was, I would have said before the tournament, it was hard to know who was vying or pushing for that number 2 slot. I thought Australia's performance in the second half against Italy was very, very good. They have got some outstandingly good backs. They have got plenty of options, and to leave Gito at home, you know that there is some stunning talent there. So if when they're performing, and they're performing well, particularly with quick phase ball, they are going to cause his damage. It's just obviously for them it's a momentum. Can the key players make the right decisions when it gets to the knockout stages? But it's going to be a very interesting as this tournament unfolds, and very much looking forward to some more games in round 2.
A couple of questions now submitted from supporters from Dave Parry. How does playing in a World Cup compare to being part of the British Lions squad?
I think they both come with their own intensity, their own pressure. I think sometimes the World Cup, I personally felt it probably engulfed us a little bit more. I suppose within that we went into the World Cup 2003 as favourites, which had its own responsibilities and, like I say, the pressure. Lions tours, we weren't necessarily expected to do it. You're such a different group. I suppose in a way, in a Lions tour, you're always getting to know people as well, whereas the England team have been together that much longer. you know, they've had training together, they've had matches together, and you know, you'd like to think that the understanding is that much easier.
And from Monica Cockram, if you could give one piece of advice to the current team for this World Cup, what would it be?
I think it's to stay calm. You know, certainly that was one of the pure qualities that did come out, and certainly, you know, listening to the players talk was, you know, if, to the rest of us watching the match, it was quite pressurised. It was like, oh my lord, where are the points coming? How are we going to break the Argentinian team down? But you know, they stuck to their guns. They did change the game plan and they tweaked it. Certainly, I spoke about the increase in tempo, and you know, that's the key, to have that belief within the group, regardless of, you know, what outside of believing is going on the pitch.
Question from Reese Osborne. What went through your mind when you heard the final whistle blow and you realised you'd won the World Cup?
Again, a mixture of sheer delight, but also relief. And that feeling of going into the World Cup as favourites certainly did play a role, I believe, in all our thought processes. But there was that just feeling of cloud nine as well, and feeling on top of it, and just achieving something that had been the goal for so long. You know, you talk about going from one game to the next, but always in the back of your mind, you know, after we lost to South Africa in the '99 World Cup, was wanting to actually prove that we were better than we were able to show in '99. And you know, I suppose looking back, we had a lot to improve as well. And the beauty of that was we were able to keep the nucleus of a squad together. That meant that there weren't huge wholesale changes in terms of personnel or style, and therefore most of the concentration was about tweaking our game plan or being able to, you know, develop a new side, while also maintaining maybe some of the strengths of Plan A, as it were.
And a final question now, Fred from Northwood. The question about the back row specifically, and he's mentioning that he's seen some impressive performances from Ireland and Wales back rows. I just wondered how you think the England back row stacks up against them, and maybe some things they might need to do to improve.
Oh, look, the England back row have played outstandingly over a 12-month period. We've had players coming in and out. There's plenty of pressure on all of them, and it's about having game time to actually hone the skills. You know, I can't deny that there have been some outstanding back row performances within other teams, but our own back row, you know, individuals certainly within it had some huge work rates, and yeah, that's going to be needed. You need not only your back row, but you need your forward pack making a contribution, huge contribution in terms of tackles. We all know that if the forwards are getting up to hard work, that's going to allow the backs to have a bit more space, a bit more energy, and you know, so the likes of, you know, Foden, Ashton, Armitage, Cueto, if these guys are feeling energised and get ball from counter-attack opportunities, then you know, England will be scoring tries.